What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Thursday, April 15th.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon.
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 5-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. Hopefully a little more luck with our pitcher here today, but I like this pick. I like Rich Hill with a 14% pitching advantage over a low salary batting team, the Texas Rangers. Rich Hill, he pitches pretty much his best ball versus righty batters, only giving up a .510 OPS versus righties. And he's facing 5 righties here tonight. And he's also only giving up a .509 OPS versus lefties, facing 3 lefties here tonight. So he pitches pretty much the same versus lefty and righties. And on top of that, the Rangers have only hit 1 of his last 8 pitches for a 125 batting average. It's a small sample size, but it's a good start. And Rich Hill is 7,700 FanDuel salary and 1,300 more on DraftKings. Projected at 29.8 fantasy points here tonight. He had an ERA of 3.03 last year. Record of 2-2 on the season, pitching an average of 77 pitches per game. He scored an average of 23 fantasy points per game on the season last year, and he scored 33, 12, and 24 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Rich Hill here versus the Texas Rangers.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal,
All you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
and then we'll send you $100 PayPal.
So it's that easy.
And we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video.
So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the catcher position. I like Sean Murphy with a 54% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Tarik Skubal. Sean Murphy is batting a .757 OPS versus lefty pitchers, and Tarik Skubal, he pitches 62% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .913 OPS versus righties. There's no at-bats versus Skubal yet, and Sean Murphy is only 2,200 FanDuel salary, and he's 1,500 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.1 fantasy points here tonight. He scored an average of 8 fantasy points per game on the season last year, and he scored 19 and 7 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So I like Sean Murphy here versus Tarik Skubal. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Joey Wendell with a 3% batting advantage over Jordan Lyles. Joey Wendell bats 13% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .792 OPS versus righties. And Jordan Lyles is giving up a .805 OPS versus lefties. There's no at-bats versus Lyles yet, and Joey Wendell is 3,400 FanDuel salary and 1,300 more on DraftKings. Projected at 12.5 fantasy points here tonight. He averaged 9 fantasy points per game on the season last year, and he scored 6 and 13 fantasy points in the last 2 games. So I like Joey Wendell here versus Jordan Lyles. Okay, who do we have at the third base position? I like Yandy Diaz with a 17% batting advantage over that same pitcher, Jordan Lyles. Yandy Diaz bats 8% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .831 OPS versus righties. And Jordan Lyles throws his worst ball versus righty batters. 10% worse than his pitch to lefties, giving up a .891 OPS versus righties. There's no at-bats versus Lyles yet, and Yandy Diaz is only $2,600 FanDuel salary, and he's only $700 more on DraftKings. So I love that price on both sites, projected at 11.8 fantasy points here tonight. He scored an average of 9 fantasy points per game on the season last year, and he scored 6, 13, and 9 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Yandy Diaz here versus Jordan Lyles.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, who do we have at the shortstop position? I like Bo Bichette with a 12% batting advantage over a low-salary pitcher, Jacob Junis. Bo Bichette, he's batting a .836 OPS versus righty pitchers, and Jacob Junis pitches 14% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .869 OPS versus righties. Bo Bichette is 2 for 4, batting .500 with a 2 OPS versus Junis. One of those hits is for a home run. He's $3,800 FanDuel salary and $1,100 more on DraftKings. He's projected at 14.5 fantasy points here tonight. He averaged 12 fantasy points per game on the season last year, and he scored 46, 19, and 9 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Bo Bichette here versus Jacob Junis. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. I'm going to give you a value play here. I like Lourdes Gurriel Jr. with a 22% batting advantage over that same low-salary pitcher, Jacob Junis. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., he's batting 8% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .904 OPS versus righties. And Jacob Junis, he's giving up a .869 OPS versus righties. Now, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is 0 for 1 versus Junis, but he's only $2,500 FanDuel salary and $700 more on DraftKings. Projected at 13.1 fantasy points here tonight. Averaged 10 fantasy points per game on the season last year, and he scored 3, 6, and 3 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Lourdes Gurriel Jr. here versus Jacob Junis.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.